Hello, everybody. I'm going to get right into this podcast because I actually have to be on the road in like 15 minutes to go on a little work trip, a girls trip with a beauty brand. I'm going to have a nice little 48 hours with a bunch of girls and just doing beauty stuff. But I was called to do this podcast for a few reasons. And this podcast is going to be how to be a woman of God or a man of God. You could apply these things to both people. But I took some heavy notes this past weekend as I was reflecting on my life. I've been reflecting a lot, and I've always considered myself a woman of God, but with major faults. Now, us as humans are imperfect, and we always will be imperfect, but I really was not paying attention to God and being a woman of God. So I was actually behaving like a woman who does not have God in her life. I wrote down some notes, just some things on my heart. And as I've been kind of really in the Bible this past week and just taking notes and really studying things, these are some things I wrote down. And I hope this speaks to you. And I just want to say this podcast set the standard, the Selden standard with my dad and I. The entire thing isn't fully switching over to God and all of that, even though he is number one in my life and now will continue to be. I will try hard every day for that. We're still going to have fun with this podcast and do fun topics and just kind of talk together and share life stories and just hope that this reaches all different types of people and that at least one of our podcasts can speak to you or help you or make you feel motivated or not alone. And that is my hope here. So I also, if you are watching YouTube, my hair has been black for 15 years. And this Thursday will be the day that I am changing it. And yeah, so you may see my hair color change in the next podcast. And this is a part of letting myself go. I have been so attached to my jet black hair since I was extremely young. It's almost like my security blanket, my persona, my alter ego, in the sense where I use it as a cover up to give me confidence and maybe feel a certain way, I guess. I don't know how to say it, but I've wanted to change it recently for fun because I think hair and stuff like this in life is fun. But I think as I'm reflecting on being a woman of God, I've used a lot of things as a shield or as something I can lean on for confidence other than God. So I think that this will be a really interesting journey to start changing my hair and still learn to feel fun and just embrace change, something different, mix it up and have a good time. And so that is just that little bit. I'm really excited for the new change. And even though I'm going to miss my black hair and I am attached to her, if you are not watching YouTube or you've never seen me, I have really, really, really jet black hair and it's been like my signature thing. And I love her and she will be missed, but I'm excited. So let's get right into this. I'm just going to go ahead and look at my notebook here I have in front of me and just start reading a couple things. I think this will all be pretty cohesive, but I was jotting really fast for like an hour because my brain was on overload. And I was so inspired and God was speaking to me and I was watching YouTube videos and just listening to a lot of, good stuff. So anyways, let's jump right into how to be a woman or man of God. I'm mostly going to be speaking to the ladies, but again, if you are married, you have a girlfriend, you have a crush, you have sisters, you can still listen to this as well and maybe encourage them. My first point here is bring trust and stability to those around her. I'm going to be a bit hard on myself during this podcast because I know that there are things that I have not done, that I have written down that a woman of God should withhold, that I have failed to do, that I'm going to try my best to just not be and to be this woman. I have had moments where I have been not stable, and so I've brought instability into people's lives. If someone isn't holding me accountable or keeping me in check, I tend to, if I don't have God in my life, I tend to be unstable. And I shouldn't fully rely on others to do that. However, I will do a podcast on accountability and being around people who are going to hold you accountable because I think that's so important. But a woman of God will bring trust, so you can trust her with your word, with yourself, stability to those people around her in her circle. And with that, the next point I put brings good into others' lives. Her actions matter, and each day she chooses to be a blessing to her family and friends, doing good in ways that make a difference. I always say to myself that I'm going to live my life with intention. Everything that I do every single day has an intention behind it. If I'm doing something completely pointless and mindless, I believe it's not from God. I believe it's just some sort of time-consuming trap, maybe. If I'm just doom scrolling on social media and not taking any information, or my brain's just kind of blank. I want to be intentional, even when it comes to eating maybe a junk food or some sort of meal that I've been craving. It's with intention. It's because I earned it, or I cooked it, or I've been thinking about it. And so I want to just have a moment to eat it, or whatever it is. I also really, really want to be intentional with my actions. So everything I do in my career, who I speak to, has intentions, but also makes a difference when I am doing them. And not saying that you need to be making a difference every single second as a woman, but just the way that you hold yourself will make people go, wow, I aspire to be like that. Or, wow, she really, demands respect, or she really works hard. People just see that good, pure intention behind your actions. And this goes into my next point. When she works with integrity, it brings a good outcome. Sometimes I think, if I'm putting on an outfit, or I'm going to sing a song, or I'm posting on social media, I'm like, okay, is this going to inspire someone, maybe make someone feel better about themselves, help somebody feel more beautiful, confident? I think when you're doing your work with a willing heart to help others, like I said, it brings integrity. It brings honor to you. And then, if you're doing it through God, if you're putting your mindset into, okay, God, lead me today with whatever I need to do to work as hard as I can and bring my purpose to this earth, that will bring you honor, because you'll be doing what God is leading you to do while you're listening. If you just give it up and you're just like, God, I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to be eager. I'm going to have integrity through my job. I'm going to make sure that I'm not cheating people out of money. I'm not lying. I'm being my authentic, true self. Then that will bring you honor within yourself and from God. I also put be resourceful and wise. When you don't know something, start doing your own research. I love to learn. School wasn't my favorite thing, but I love learning about how I can better my body, which will hopefully better my children. And I really like to live life foreseeing into the future. So what I'm eating now, I know it'll bring me this strong, healthy body that can fight disease and bring the most amazing children into this world one day. And I think being resourceful can also just mean having your own opinions based on knowledge and things that you're intentionally reading and, pursuing. And then with that comes wisdom. Wisdom also comes through experience and living life. The next one is uses good judgment and sees results. With a steady heart, she makes choices that are wise and right. I think I've used pretty good judgment in my life. However, we've all made mistakes, and I also at times haven't been living for God. So, I'll allow people into my life that aren't feeding that. But I think when you're using good judgment based on God guiding your heart, you will see good results. And having good judgment will also be really great for your kids, because then you can protect them better and do things to make their life better and keep them healthy. So that's kind of where that thought was. She is generous and kind-hearted. She has a heart that stays open to those in need and reaches out with compassion, knowing that it honors God. I have put on my goals list to help others a lot more than I do. I want to be a helping hand for people who are less fortunate than myself. And I try my best to use my platforms to do that, but I actually want to get out there in the world and also do that. I love to give. I love to help. Super fulfilling for me. So yeah. She is prepared and free from fear of the world. She plans ahead and trust God. So I've already said, planning ahead for the future. This food will fuel my body. This decision of not drinking this alcohol will make my body stronger for me and for my future children and my grandchildren, and just for the overall happiness and safety of my mental health. Just foreseeing things in the future, planning ahead, and then trusting that if you listen to God, He will guide you to the best result of yourself. And with that, your fear of the world goes away. This all kind of connects. She will trust God to take care of her, but a woman who fears God will carry herself with dignity. So as a woman or a man, when you fear God, nothing can squash you. The next one, her talents show within all of her work, creations, and in ways she presents herself. I was proud of myself when I wrote this one because I really feel like I sprinkle my talents all throughout my work, all throughout my being, my friendships. I collaborate my talents with my friends. I just made a song with my friend Alice. I'm a singer. I've done acting stuff with my friend Fran, who's an actress. I've shared makeup. I've done my friend's makeup. I've talked to people about, my struggles in life and just had great convos. So as a woman of God, your talent, your God-given talent will show within everything. Speaks with wisdom and kindness. I kind of said this. And her words are gentle and patient, drawing people to her and allowing them to learn from her insight. I think I've failed at this, but I also think I've done a great job. I think even since high school, I was someone who a lot of people who weren't really even, quote, my friends would lean on me for advice. I think I give a proper, just overall logical advice. Maybe that's just my opinion to myself, but I do feel like I offer good advice and good insight based on, my hardships. And I think recently, judgment has to be put aside now more than ever towards people, especially if you want to come into people's lives and help them. You have to just be that open source, providing insight and wisdom and love and being patient with people. People have not been patient with me, and that can really hurt you. That can really burn you and make you feel sad. But I will forever be patient. I will forever be loyal and gentle with my words. Okay. Those closest to her recognize her worth, speaking well of her because they see my love or God's love within her. I love that. I think I've seen people speak of people and you just know that who they're speaking of comes from a godly place. And I think that's probably one of the best things that can happen to you if someone's describing you to somebody and they're just speaking, gosh, this person, they just stand their ground. They're super wise. They're well-spoken. They work hard and they love hard and they give all that they can to people. I think, whenever someone is speaking so good of you and holds you up as like a woman, to be recognized for that, honestly, it's probably the best thing someone could do. So her true worth, this is where I struggle. Her true worth isn't in outward beauty, but in her heart and faith. Her relationship with God becomes her beauty. I love this. This week, my whole outlook on myself and my confidence has totally shifted. Like I said, I recently went through something and I was just like, I have to turn to God. God is number one. I cannot mess around anymore. I'm wearing God as my shield. I'm wearing Him as my beauty. I'm wearing Him as my reflection and my everything. So I love this. I've failed at this, but God is my beauty. That's the only way that because worldly beauty, although it can get you some things, it's just really not fulfilling. If you're not a good person or you don't have personality, you have nothing else to bring to the table besides your looks, it's going to be a rough life. Not super rough, but it won't feel good. It's not fulfilling. When she works hard and follows God, her life is honored. I'm just going to shoot a bunch at you now. Her purpose is generosity and faithfulness, each quality reflecting love and wisdom within her. To all my young girls out there, this is a little message for you that I wrote. God sees you and the desires of your heart, not outward beauty, but within, and a heart that seeks Him. You do not have to be perfect. God is shaping you daily. So let him work on your heart. Let him guide you. Let him show you how you can become a woman of integrity and kindness. When you honor God, he will honor your journey, opening doors and bringing in the people and the friends and the love that you need. Trust his timing and never settle for less. Never. And to the young men out there, I have a little message for you too, if you're listening. Know that waiting for a godly woman is worth every moment. She will be someone you can trust, respect, and grow with. God's love in her words. Grow into the man that God called you to be. When both people, both man and woman, seek God first, everything else falls into place. Amen. I have a couple verses I wanted to read before I close this out. Psalm 27:14, wait on the Lord, wait for God, and he takes care of the rest. Handle yourself in a Christian way. Matthew 6:33, seek him first, and all things will be added and will not be messed up. So I kind of just wrote this in my own words, but I hope you guys liked this podcast. It was short and sweet. I really wanted to just pop something out that was really weighing on my heart so I can listen back to this and I can reference this because I need this now more than ever. And I know that a lot of other people do too. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Don't forget to subscribe or follow us everywhere. And yeah, we love you guys so much. And we'll see you guys in the next pod.